Investing, trading.
Investing.
Dividends, capital appreciation.
Capital appreciation.
Wait long, stay in cash.
Wait long.
Now or dito.
Dito.
Love or money.
Love!
100 million doing what you love or 1 billion not doing what you love.
100 million doing what you love.
Over-diversified, under-diversified.
Over-diversified.
Growth stock, value stock.
Value stock.
Success or significance.
Significance.
Cut loss, hold.
Cut loss.
Banking or property stock.
Banking.
Big mansion in the province, penthouse in the city.
Big mansion in the province.
Hi everyone! In this video, we have Carissa Patag, 10-year market veteran from Wealth Securities, who will give her insights on the market. So Carissa, thank you so much for joining us. It's an honor na you are back again. Minsan lang tayo may sobrang yaman na broker sa podcast. So Carissa, before we start, you wanted to talk about where the market is. So where are we right now?
Thank you for inviting me again in your channel, Marvin. Sobrang dami subscribers. If you're not yet a subscriber, please click on the link below. Subscribe. So para maging 1 million na si Marvin. Ay, malapit na yan. Okay? So, anyways, thank you again for inviting me. Belated happy birthday, Marvin.
Thank you.
So, dahil sa work from home status natin ngayon, mas nakikita pa ata tayo. Mas nakikita kita sa mga postings mo, diba, sa market. So, that's one of the things happening right now. And as what you have mentioned earlier, I think the question in a lot of people's mind right now is, should we invest, diba? So I think we should start off first with an economic situationer para lang makita natin where we are right now and supposedly where are we heading and what can we do just so we could not only survive but thrive during these difficult times. We were able to get our figures for our GDP in second quarter last month, diba? So 16.5% drop yun, Marvin. First quarter natin, kasi diba nagkaroon tayo ng strict lockdown, saka talagang pumutok yung COVID noong March. So syempre, half ng March yun. So syempre, yung first quarter natin, not as affected, we went down ng 0.7%. But yung second quarter natin, doon talaga natin naramdaman yung effect ng COVID and the lockdowns. So we went down 16.5%. Dahil 2 consecutive na pagbaba yun or slowdown na economy natin, it signaled na entry na natin yun sa recession. But we are not alone kasi most of the other global markets naman entered recession na rin because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Because of that recession, because of the slowdown in the economy, of course, you see it also in the market, diba? So, again, not only in our market, but also in the major global markets, nag-enter na rin ng bear market territory. So now, why are we going about this economic situation? Or why are we showing where we were before? And then, kung ano na yung ngayon na binounce natin. I want to point out, and if there's any takeaway with our session today, that there's always an opportunity during times of crisis. Historically, even during crisis, di ba, we would always bounce back. Okay, so from our low nga, very abrupt, kasi nga, everyone was caught off guard with what happened with the COVID-19 pandemic, diba? But, again, historically naman, yung binaba natin na 38% in 25 days, naka-recover naman tayo 43%, okay, in less than 2 months. Okay, so what does this tell us? Na for the patient and wise investor, there is always an opportunity during a crisis.
The question that people would like to know is, since wala na tayo sa 4,000, malaki na inakyat niya, should I come in now, knowing that there will be a recovery later on, pero wala na siya sa pinakamababa eh. A lot of those stocks have also gone up. They're not in their highest high, they're not in their all-time highs, they're still very far from it. Pero wala na rin sila sa lowest portion nila. So, should they come in? That's my first one. Second is there a possibility that even if their time horizon is long, what if they position, is there still a possibility of an even larger decline still?
So our economy is on the contraction cycle. We're not on the expansion cycle. As such, one of the strategies that I use when the market is going down is I change strategies and sectors. And also I do PCA. When it comes to your first question, I think you could always invest now, diba? Kasi parang no one naman, even the best computer algorithm or the wisest investor, even Warren Buffett says, diba? No one could really time the market perfectly 100% of the time, diba? So what you could only do is try to minimize your risk, diba? But there will always be the risk. Since we have established that we are on a recession, our economy is contracting, change sectors. So for me, you could look at stocks na defensive. These are companies that deal with essential items. Okay, so they do well even if the economy is going down or slowing down. Why? Because people will still buy food. Pandemic na yan, di ba? Do you stop eating? Of course not, di ba? So, yes.
Medyo napachubby nga ako ngayong lockdown. I gained 7 pounds. So, I actually ate more. Okay.
Kaya nga, di ba? So, what you call this, meron pa nga ngayon yung pandemic boom na there are certain industries, certain stocks that will really do well. Actually, telecommunications, parang higher pa nga sila ngayon yung mga prices nila compared do sa prices nila before the pandemic. Why? Because there's a need for it Parang nagiging essential na ngayon sa atin yung telecommunications na you are connected. These are the stocks that we can look at. I think very timely yung opportunity nga ngayon kasi defensive stocks will do well when the market is going down. Kasi when the market is going up, you buy cyclical stocks. Kasi mga cyclical stocks naman, these are companies that sell discretionary items. What does that mean? You only buy these items if you have sobrang pera or they deal with human wants. Diba? So, for example, these are companies that will deal with like tourism. These are the companies that will do well if the market, if the economy is going up. But since the economy is contracting and we have established that, I think you could start buying already, investing if you're not yet investing. If you have invested, you could also average on defensive stocks because they will still do well. They have stable earnings. People will still patronize them, buy their products or services even during a pandemic or during a crisis. So they will still be able to provide for you stable earnings and as such can still give you dividends. Ayan, favorite ni Marvin ang dividends. Diba, Marvin?
Galing. Guys, no, makinig kayo kay Carissa kasi at least you're getting snippets kung paano mag-isip yung mga sobrang yaman sa Pilipinas. But I wanna
maniniwala sa akin.
I wanna ask more based on what you said. So, there's two things that I got from what you said. You can come in right now kung peso cost averaging yung style mo,
yes,
but you focus on defensive stocks. Now, you mentioned something about things na binibili ng mga tao like pagkain and stuff. My question on top of that is, my question on top of the food one is where do they focus on? Kasi it's broad, it's still broad. Do they go for the URC, CNPF, RFM, FB, or do they go for the supermarkets, Pure Gold, RRHI, MRSGI, 7-Eleven? How would you parang segment it and rank it? And siguro third question connected doon, sa lahat ng sinabi ko, Pure Gold has gone significantly up also. So does valuations play a part of it also, or they have to pick the ones that are lesser than Pure Gold kasi they haven't gone up yet?
So that's where PCA comes in. So peso cost averaging. I only do this, Marvin, usually pag bumabagsak yung market. Parang it doesn't work for me pag umaakit kasi yung market. Pag umaakit yung market, usually I do lump sum. With PCA kasi you buy periodically. You're the one naman who sets the period So let's say I want to buy, or my budget allows me to buy every month or let's say lang every quarter or semi-annual, parang ganyan. And then ito lang yung budget ko. Let's say lang semi-annual, I can only buy 10,000. Okay, first half, second half, 10,000 also. Okay, so regardless, like, let's say ngayon nag-fall yung first half mo ng buying, diba? And then it has gone up substantially compared to the price before, you still buy. Okay? Kasi sa second half, kung man bumaba siya or umakyat siya, okay, what PCA does is actually it averages down your losses or your profits during a longer time frame. So you get a better average compared to when you do a lump sum na at any time, baka the next day, your investment will tank. What also helps me with this is, di ba kapag bear market, Marvin, parang mas emotional tayo. And then you would see talaga panic selling, and then nandun na yung herd mentality na parang kahit na you did your proper research, even if you know that, this is a good company, since nakikita mo, lahat ng friends mo, ay pare, nagbenta na ako kasi baka babagsak pa or whatever, di ba? So what PCA does is, it makes your investing more disciplined, di ba? And more consistent, at the same time, more mechanical, na hindi ka masyadong emotional. Kasi even for the veterans in stock market investing, yun yung medyo kalaban natin, diba? Yung pagiging emotional. It helps me also na parang I'm not so concerned na parang, yun nga, again, in timing the market. So what if hindi na siya yung lowest na before? It's the best average I could get, diba? Compared to if I do lump sum and then the following day, it tanks. I feel so bad na parang, ay, baka mali yung discard ito. And sometimes yun yung nakakapagpamali sa atin, Marvin, kasi yung nawawala yung conviction natin. Siyempre, pag kakaroon ka ng conviction, dapat naman you did your proper research. Hindi naman pwedeng conviction dahil lang sinabi sa'yo nung kapitbahay mo, di ba?
You mentioned about consumption, but when you said consumption, is it the groceries or the ones producing the products that are in the shelves of the groceries?
Both.
Okay.
But what you could look at, again, regardless of whether you're looking at utilities, okay, and then now nga, diba, telecommunications, very important now, and as we have seen, those stocks have gone up substantially as well, not only here, but also abroad, diba? Some of the things that you could look at, if you are choosing, given a limited budget, a strong balance sheet. Right now, kasi parang you would want a company na merong reserves. When comparing, ano ba bibiling ko? Pure gold? Or like let's say, I'll buy na lang, retailers? Or let's say, I buy the URC. Second, importante na profitable siya and strong yung recurring income. Kasi baka naman mamaya, ay, ang laki pala nung kinita niya, pero non-recurring kasi may binenta lang siya. Di ba meron tayong ganyan? Pag tinitingnan mo, ay, bakit sobrang laki ng earnings nitong company nito for this year? Look for companies that will offer you high returns versus the cost of your capital. Okay? And then versus, again, since we're comparing versus its peers. Diba? Look also if the recurring income is predictable. You could also look at the regulation or regulation factors or natural factors. Di ba sometimes we have a good stock but then magkakaroon siya ng problem like let's say sa concessionaire na regulatory problem. Diba? So then obviously even if it has a strong balance sheet and recurring income, babagsak yung stock niya.
To summarize what Carissa said, you're comparing those retailers or groceries, one of the important things you need to look at is their balance sheet, gano'ng ba kalaki yung cash nila, and then gano'ng kalaki yung recurring na pumapasok even in this time of the pandemic. I'm sure a lot of people would want to know this. Do you have like something set na pag nakita mo to, ito yung cash niya, okay na to?
Wala ako in particular. When you analyze something, you don't only analyze the company's FS or its numbers on its own. You look at it also in terms of its industry. It's hard to give a certain number or a certain parameter kapag sa isang company lang. You always have to do it relative to its peers to what the other companies in its industry is doing.
If you are a person that wants to do peso cost averaging, should you go with the ones that have already consistent dividends and earnings, or would it be better to go for the ones na magsa-start pa lang also? Guys, by the way, no, as this is being said, please study pa rin. Hindi porket sinabi ni Carissa, bibili nyo na kagad. Kailangan nyo pa rin mag-research after mangyari to, no? Okay, go Carissa.
Yes, research on your own because ultimately, the person who will really protect and grow your money should be you, diba? Kasi pera mo yan. For those who are starting, I think it will do well for them to start with the two companies, with Globe and PLDT, since they have established themselves in the market as parang the blues talaga, diba? So, very stable earnings. And actually, nga, Marvin, diba? Kung hindi lang nagkaroon ng issue yung PLDT in its intent to buy Sky at all costs, it actually hit its 52-week high during itong time ng pandemic, diba? Na, again, like with what I mentioned earlier, it's doing well now compared to the prices when we were in the pandemic. That's why meron talagang laging opportunity. So for those who are starting, since newbie ka pa lang, I think it's better for you to go with the established brands or the established names. Now, if you have been investing naman, then of course, you are more, you know more about the risk that you are getting into. If you are amenable to those risks, and you could sleep at night, given those risks, given the return that you're expecting from that investment, you could also go after now, Dito and Converge will be having its IPO.
I think one of the biggest things that people are trying to see is when Dito starts operating March, or when Converge starts rolling out, kasi Converge is Luzon lang right now eh. Converge starts rolling out in February in Visayas and Mindanao. What people are looking at is they will grab market share. In your opinion, or at least in your analysis, do you think they have a chance, or because Globe and PLDT, they have a barrier towards them in terms of mas malaki yung market share nila, mahirapan ba sila, or relatively there will be a lot of people shifting and transferring to them?
I think itong tatlo na to have a big potential. Kasi like with some before, diba, with Smart and Globe, disruptor siya eh, diba? Before you could play catch up, nakapagtayo na ng mga satellites, naka-roll out na ng mga programs before Sun came into the picture. Naging disruptor pa rin siya because of its marketing and pricing schemes, diba? Such that, binili siya ng major giant, binili siya ng Tel, kasi masyado siyang naging disruptor. So, itong mga tatlo na to could be disruptors, but then again, you would have to realize, like for example, with Dito, up to a certain point, ito lang yung matatayuan nila ng mga what you call this,
Sell sites
nila, diba? Okay. Up to a certain point, they would still have to share with, diba, there's this law naman that they would have to share with PLDT, with Globe as well, such that PLDT and Globe will also be able to share with these newcomers, diba? So, medyo may cap rin yun, yung growth nila. It will take some time before they are able to play catch up. But then, of course, a lot of people right now, we have seen substantial movements in their prices for Dito and for now, di ba? Nag-ceiling pa nga, because people believe also that if they could really be a disruptor, if they could really offer fast internet connections at a cheaper price, then people might change their present Wi-Fi providers or their telecom providers to these new entries.
Would you lump in yung mga stocks or companies connected sa agriculture as part of something that's defensive in this new normal, or you think that because we're not really an agricultural country, they might not really still do so well?
It has an effect. We only have a few na sa agriculture talaga. It should do well. But the thing is, we're an import-driven dependent country talaga eh. Even in terms of food, diba? So that's why you would notice, even for our rice na needs, diba? We also import pa rin from other countries. So it should go up, but we don't see that much reflection in terms of their market prices as of now. Sometimes even if we do our proper research nga, there's such a thing also as market psychology eh. Even if we have a good stock, but then the market thinks na, we don't like that, we want something to move fast, then that will be a laggard eh, na matagal na siyang hindi gagalaw do sa price.
Yung traditional na defensive, you mentioned it already a bit. I want to zero in on it. Utilities, you have power and you also have water. What's your sense in this? Which do you think will do better? The one that distributes the Meralcos, or the one that partly has a larger generation part of their business, from Aboitiz Power to pati SSPC, which gives very, very good dividends also. Then, they go to water na lang. Last year kasi they had a lot of regulatory issues. Ngayon naman, nawala na yung noise na yun eh. That's why we've seen also their stocks start to go up also.
Going up. For energy, you could look at the big names. You could also look at conglomerates that have holdings also in power and utilities. So I also like with what you mentioned earlier then, di ba? Yung sa water, medyo naayos naman siya. And I like looking at MPI. Also, for AC, kasi halo-halo na yung ano niya doon. May energy, merong water, di ba? May infrastructure. I also like GT Cap, actually, for its diversified holdings, for conglomerates. For essentials, I like Pure Gold. Retailer siya. For now, I see that it will have good earnings, given nga na priority natin ngayon na bumili ng food din, diba? During the pandemic. Recovery stories. That's why I also like nga MPI, because it also has holdings in infrastructure. Once the economy recovers and people start spending, not only consumers, but also the government, when we do the critical PPPs, again, then you would have a great recovery story for companies that deal with infrastructure.
Guys, not everyone watching this, that's what I like about it when we interview a lot of people. There's iba-ibang mga ideologies and principles. And if there's one thing that I want you to get from this is, there's also a style that you can focus on the defensives. Kasi hindi lang naman growth yung pwede bilhin, hindi lang naman value yung pwede bilhin, hindi lang naman yung may dividends yung pwede bilhin, hindi rin naman puro at buy at sport, sell at resistance yung pwedeng gawin also. There's also a style like this. So if this is something that fits you, I hope that you're taking notes, kasi there's a lot of information that you can use, especially if you are defensive. So thank you so much, Carissa Patag. More than a decade years of experience from Wealth Securities, for being part of this video. Pero, hindi natin tatapusin to without the fast talk. Ito yung inaabangan ng mga tao para sa'yo. Okay, alam mo naman.
Abunda ba to?
Hindi naman, Marvin Germo to. So, same lang din. I'll give you options, then just blurt out whatever comes out in your mind first. Okay? Investing, trading.
Investing.
Dividends, capital appreciation.
Capital appreciation.
Wait long, stay in cash.
Wait long.
Now or dito.
Dito.
Love or money.
Love!
100 million doing what you love, or 1 billion not doing what you love.
100 million doing what you love. You know why? Because when you love doing what you are doing, the money will always follow.
Tsaka di ka pa 100 million is a lot of money na rin. Over-diversified, under-diversified.
Over-diversified.
Growth stock, value stock.
Value stock.
Success or significance.
Significance.
Cut loss, hold.
Cut loss.
Banking or property stock.
Banking.
Big mansion in the province, penthouse in the city.
Big mansion in the province.
Thank you so much, Carissa Patag, for joining us. It's such an honor. Thank you for being game for even this fast talk. So, thank you. I hope, guys, madami kayo natutunan sa kanya. By the way, we had several videos with Carissa also in the past. You can also watch them. Sobrang experienced, tenured, and sobrang yaman. And I hope madami kayo natutunan. By the way, if you have questions, put them in the comment section, and then we'll try to answer them also. And yun lang. I hope this video helps you. Trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you.